Blog Talk Radio.
It's time for Anime-Zing Radio on the Blog Talk Radio Network with your hosts, Doug Engler and Darren Starling. Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you tonight by Casey Fox. For all of your artwork, cosplay, photography needs, be sure to check out Casey Fox, that's KAYCIFOXX, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on the Blog Talk Radio Network and simulcast over on our YouTube channel. I hope everybody's having a wonderful night. It's been a fun weekend. We are 1 week away from saying goodbye to Blog Talk. We've got one more show after this coming up next week. Of course, that's a big show. I am your host, Doug Engler. Joining me in the co-host seat, as always, is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Oh, I get the applause this week? Thank you.
I figure, we're running up, we're almost out of time here with Blog Talk. It's been a crazy, I want to say 6 years that we've been a part of Blog Talk Radio, a little over 6 years. And now, I wanted to do a little bit of a look back tonight and next week of just, some of the fun moments and stuff that we've had here on the show. Of course, a big hello out there to our friend Mario, who's in the chat room. Mario had been feeling under the weather the last couple of days, so we hope you're feeling better. So happy that you feel good enough to join us, Mario. We really, hearts out for the support that you give us. Hearts out to all of the fans out there. If you're watching us over on YouTube and you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We are going to be broadcasting live on YouTube every week now. We're going to be putting up videos. Soon we're going to have video interviews. In fact, we have even lined up our first official interview with a guest over on YouTube. That's going to be August 8th. We're going to have Mario Bueno from Crunchyroll Expo is going to be joining us. He's going to be right after the convention. He's going to have a lot of stuff to talk about that he had going on there. So a lot of good stuff coming up. Also, Darren, I don't know if you saw or not, but I am going to be a guest on the Chaotic Goodcasts podcast tomorrow night.
Yes, I did see that.
And I figured it's good for two reasons. One, promote the show to a new audience. And two, I want to have an idea of just what it's like on the other side of StreamYard, the program that we're going to be using starting August 1st. And August 1st is going to be our first show, Darren, over on YouTube strictly using StreamYard. So we got some more stuff to figure out. I did just upgrade my account with them to a paid membership, and so I can upload logos and things like that for us. So a lot of stuff to experiment with this week coming up, and looking forward to seeing what we've got in store.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Now, I know you haven't been co-host for the entire time that we've been a part of Blog Talk Radio. You came on about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I can honestly say you have been a huge asset to the show, and I thank you for coming on through all sorts of weird circumstances. Everything from being at work to in the middle of mowing a lawn to everything else that you've had going on. And, I thank you wholeheartedly for all of the help that you've done behind the scenes, all the information that you've gotten for us, and really looking forward to seeing where this show is going to go with you as the co-pilot.
It's been an exciting ride, and I hope we have many more years to come with this.
Oh, definitely. And eventually I'm going to get you to watch some of these shows in English dub, so when we have the voice actors on, you know exactly who they are.
Very true. That one problem though, that kind of requires an open schedule, which I don't have.
Oh, come on. I know you watch this stuff on your phone while you're at work.
I barely have time to look at my phone at work.
I could see you now, like, you'd have a show on your phone while you're on riding one of the mowers doing the yard work and stuff. Earbuds in. People think you're just canceling stuff out. No, you're watching anime.
About to say, just mount it to one of the handles on my zero turn, or my stand-on mowers actually have a place where I could probably put a phone mount.
so now I've given you an idea.
Entirely possible. But it would be a good thing for the mowing industry, but it would also be something that the mowing industry would potentially get sued for, because that's just asking for problems to happen. but I mean, distracted driving is one thing, but distracted mowing, I think, will get you hurt a lot quicker.
Probably.
That, or you're going to end up ruining somebody's property.
And like I said, we are excited. We have a fantastic guest that's going to be joining us tonight as we are celebrating Mashumiresh Month, as I have dubbed the month of July here. Three shows, three guests, three shows all associated with Show by Rock's Mashumiresh season, which just dropped in English a couple weeks ago. Tonight, we're going to be welcoming Lindsay Sheppard, who voices Ryuyu from Show by Rock. She also voices this little character named Alka from an anime you may or may not have heard of called Suppose a Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies Moved to a Starter Town.
I most definitely have heard of that. I watched it too.
And do you remember that character?
Of course. How could I forget the lolly grandma that's always popping up and putting hexes on people like it's nothing?
I think this is going to be a really fun show. We had Megan Shipman on last week, and like I said, next Sunday is our big one. We have, for the first time, because I was confirmed it with a couple of the girls who are part of the Mashumiresh cast, they have not talked about this show in one location at the same time yet. So we are gonna be the first official interview of Giovanni Cruz, Lindsay Shepherd, Emmy Lowe, Macy Ann Johnson. So all four of the main characters from the band Mashumiresh, mind you, and we're going to have Megan Shipman, the ADR script director, or the ADR director of Mashumiresh on. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited about it. So excited I could just, and sometimes you just can't hold those bunnies in. I don't think Darren knows what to do about that one.
Oh, I can.
And Mario says he actually started Last Dungeon Boonies thanks to us. It actually was a fun show. And hopefully you enjoy it as much as I did. And I think you enjoyed it too, Darren, didn't you?
I did.
And I apologize to those of you on the YouTube side of things. I have the camera working, but the cord is not exactly the sturdiest, and the camera moves a little bit, so I'm not always centered. I am, however, still wearing anime gear. I've got my Mocha shirt on with the picture of Outer Mocha. And so we are continuing the tradition of the anime-themed apparel, as I do every week.
And I'm continuing the tradition of laying down surrounded by my wife is.
And I hear you talk about these documakras all the time, but I haven't seen one come my way yet.
Well, I have an extra one at the house. I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe I'll get you one for Christmas one year.
I'm just kidding. I think I would like one, but I don't know. I would have to actually get a body pillow for that.
If nothing else, the body pillow itself is worth it because, especially for a lonely person like me, they're actually very comfortable to sleep with and actually will help you get a better sleep, in my opinion.
I'm looking back through a lot of the shows that we've had here on Blog Talk Radio because I have a notebook of every guest that we have had since we started on Blog Talk. And so I've had this notebook for years. Our first show with Blog Talk Radio was February 7th, 2016, and our guest was Morgan Berry. So we've been doing this a while here on Blog Talk, so that's it blows my mind to know how long we've been actually broadcasting and doing these shows. And the amount of people we've had on the show never ceases to amaze me. And we've had everybody, like I said, from amazingly talented cosplayers and voice actors to convention promoters. We've had Bang Zoom Studios. That was a fun one too. That was another one of those. Like earlier this year, we had the Monica Rial special we did on a Saturday. I think the Bang Zoom special I did like on a Tuesday night to be able to work with their schedule all the way out from California. And that was an amazing experience for myself to be able to talk to the owner and the casting director from Bang Zoom. Now, I think that was shortly before you came on full time.
I believe so.
But that was a fun show. What were some of your favorite memories from the time that you've been on as co-host? Because we've had a lot of guests, had a lot of craziness. I know we've had the technical issues here on Blog Talk where my computer reset itself, and then you and Morgan were just left kind of with dead air, trying to figure out what to talk about. And
oh yeah, and me and Caitlin Barr connecting on a North Carolina level.
Oh, you cut out there for a minute.
Sorry, I had it on mute because I was sick last week, in case y'all forgot. But also, I've had a little bit of a cough that keeps appearing every now and then.
I think we all have been feeling under the weather a little bit here and there.
Yep. But finding out Caitlin was from North Carolina and attended a lot of the same conventions I did, and the fact that I might have actually met her or saw her and never realized it back in the day was interesting. And also having met him at Anime-Zing a couple of years ago and actually getting to bring him on more than once. Definitely exciting. And, of course, having Gavin on, always fun to talk to.
Oh, yeah. We love Gavin.
So many other things. I mean, that one night that we did the music, I was so disappointed. I was at work, and I caught as much of it as I could, but we need to do another show like that.
Well, with the new technology and with StreamYard going through computers, because we're able to do that because Gavin could connect all the music and microphones and everything through his computer. So with StreamYard, I think we're going to be able to do that more often now. And I think that's going to be a big help for, Anime-Zing Radio going forward. And, I really am looking forward to ideas and things that we can have, because StreamYard's going to open up all new possibilities and stuff for us. From what I was reading, with the updated account, I want to say that we now can do up to like 4 hours of live streaming or recorded streaming to put up on whatever account we want, YouTube or anything like that. So that is really kind of neat, and I'm really looking forward to what we have to look forward to with that. And that's going to open up a lot of possibilities of live streaming from conventions and things of that nature too.
Oh yes. Ever since I think it was Crunchyroll. It was either Crunchyroll or Funimation streaming their convention. They had a camera set up with a TV monitor that whatever was on the TV monitor was being broadcast on their website during the convention.
And it's that's also going to open up the door to us. Like when we're able to be at the same convention at the same time, if we get a table to promote Anime-Zing Radio, we could do a live show right there, and it would be like the first time we're able to do that together. It'll be the first time we're in the same room doing a show.
I'm about to say, it'll be the first time we've been in the same room, period.
Possibly.
Thus far.
Unless it's something like Anime Boston next year, if you're able to make it up for that, because I don't know if we'd get a table for Anime Boston, because I know that can be really difficult, especially where they haven't had one for 2 years. And I am going to continue to try for press. I'm still waiting to hear back from Kineticon. In fact, I need to send an email out to them to find out if I have to resubmit everything or what.
Oh, worst case scenario, you get your tablet if you have one, put it on a stand and put it right next to you at a convention, and then I just Skype in or something or another. That way my face is present even if I'm not there.
I mean, we'll be bringing our laptop and things like that for streaming purposes and recording purposes and stuff. So. Now I know a lot of new shows have been dropping. We're still early on in the season, in the summer season of anime. I'm not sure if you've been able to catch up on anything.
Well, I finished Slime Diaries. I finished Killing Slimes for 300 Years. I finished rom-com where their childhood friend won't lose. I've started Slime Season 2. I've started Maid Dragon Season 2. Well, correction, I've started Slime Season 2 Part 2.
Yeah.
As far as new shows go, I haven't really had time to check out any of them. I was planning on getting to them tonight, but as always,
you were stuck at work until just before coming on the show.
Yep, till 7 o'clock, long enough to get something to eat, get a shower, and then call into the show.
Now your homework this week is to at least start watching Show by Rock Mashumiresh. You don't have to have seen the first Show by Rock to know what's going on in Mashumiresh. And preferably watch it in English. Granted, in just my opinion, the songs are so amazing in Japanese. They're not bad in English, but like they are so amazing in Japanese. But with us having all of the English voice actors on, I think it'd be great for you to have at least a couple episodes of Mashumiresh so you get to know who the girls are, a little bit about their personalities. So when we get into the meat and potatoes of the show with the cast. You're at the ready with questions because I'm gonna be going to you a few times.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, as you like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have to laugh. I think Megan seemed a little surprised last week when I asked her about if, like, the girls, the first time that they sang Yell in Response in their street performance, sounding a little off was on purpose or not. I think she was kind of surprised that I picked up on that.
Well, must mean you're a fan.
And I laugh because I remember listening and it's like, they sound off, but the more I thought about them, like, if you're doing a street performance as a new band and you randomly have somebody come up off the street join you, you're not going to fully be in tune. And I think that right there is just credit to Megan as a director being able to know that, especially where she's done a lot of music in her past. Her own YouTube channel, where she posts songs that she has sung and recorded and edited and everything. So I think a lot of that came into play, and I think Mashumiresh was a great first solo directing gig for her. Either that or I'm just watching these animes and getting way too overcritical now. I'm not sure.
Oh, Lord. Don't turn into an Alita.
And Mario Deku is still a little bitch. That's why nobody likes him. Mario's on the for those of you who don't know, Mario had joined us as a guest co-host last week, and he just wanted to hear again, why I feel that people don't like Deku, or why we think Deku is one of the more hated characters from My Hero Academia, and so I had to just throw that back out there. He gets a kick out of that. And I know you worked your butt off today. Today was a weird day for me because we did not. Today was the first day in a long time that we didn't leave the house for anything. Leanne's been working really hard. We have an event coming up next Saturday here in town that she's going to have a table at, selling some of her artwork and selling some of the washcloths that she's been knitting. And so, look, she's had a lot of focus on getting everything ready for that. So today she just sat on the couch knitting, and we watched YouTube videos all day, from everything from some disc golf to the Anime Man and Aki Dearest to Trash Taste to Gigik and Connor, and even looked into Gigik's girlfriend Sid Snap. I had never seen one of her videos before, and I think I picked the wrong one to watch, as our 3-year-old is lying on the floor watching her talk about these overly extravagant mouse pads.
Which I own.
I don't think you own some of the ones like she had. You might have the Opie ones, but you don't have the All Might erection mouse pad.
What?
Yeah. Well, I'll just leave it at that. I will just leave it at that. If you want to know more, and we are not endorsed by any of these YouTubers that we talk about. I know, Mario, that we're on the air. Like I said, there are going to be some changes. We're going to let loose a little bit more, especially with going to going to YouTube and everything. We're gonna not be so uptight. We're gonna have more fun with the show, make it more enjoyable. Probably not swear as much as we hear a lot of the other YouTubers and anime-tubers do, but we'll have those Freudian slips.
Yep. By the way, before we go much further into the show, I wanted to ask, did you see the article I sent you earlier?
Which one was that?
The one about our favorite useless goddess and crew.
Oh, the Konosuba one? I think I clicked the link and it didn't come up. Oh, the light novel gets new anime. So are they redoing the anime adaptation, or is this something completely new?
Not sure yet, but we're getting more Konosuba anime, and that's enough.
We're getting more Mega Men, and that's all we need.
Pretty much. The first 2 seasons were done by Studio Dean, and then the movie was done by JC Staff.
Mario says it's a whole new arc, well adapted from the light novel.
Well, so it kind of pulled a High School DxD on us, but not gonna lie, just like High School DxD, the original studio works were pretty good. Studio Dean's art quality, being as bad as it was, actually fit in with the show very well, if you ask me. It kind of added to the show.
Aqua is still a useless goddess.
And Eddie's pads are chest.
And darkness is just darkness. That's all we'll say about that.
Good. And Chimosuke is adorable.
On that note, we do have to go to our bottom of the hour break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Lindsay Sheppard. We're going to be talking about her career as a voice actress and actress. Of course, we're going to be talking about some show by Rock. We're going to also touch on Suppose a Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies. And maybe even some of the other shows that she's been a part of. So definitely stay tuned for more Anime-Zing Radio right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. And it would help if I could... There we go.
You.
And welcome back to Anime-Zing Radio here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me as always in the co-host seat is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello.
And we have an amazing guest tonight. She is a very, very talented voice actress. She can be heard in shows like Show by Rock Mashumiresh as Ryuyu, Alka from Suppose a Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town, and Sayaka from Gleitner. Please welcome Lindsay Sheppard to the show.
I get applause? What? Oh, that's so cool. Hello, everybody.
And Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Yeah, we're full of surprises, and and
I mean, I knew there was a live audience, but I didn't know you had mics in everybody's home.
Sometimes, I mean, you know, we do have some amazing listeners out there, people who are tuning in over on YouTube and at Blog Talk Radio. Thank you to everybody out there who's tuning in tonight. It's great to have you all here. And for our listeners out there who may not know who you are, because you are fairly new on the anime voice acting scene, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Oh, geez. I'm so bad at these. I'm Lindsay Shepherd. I've been doing voiceover since they invented voiceover. But no, not really. I've been doing voiceover for about 20 years now. I've been in a bunch of things. Back when I was in New York, I was on Pokemon. And I did a lot of video games and animation, lots of commercials and like corporate stuff. And then I moved to Texas and I started getting into the anime scene, and I absolutely love it. It is so much fun. So I've done a bunch of anime in the past few years. I am a voiceover coach, and I'm married to a voiceover talent agent, and I have kids that do voiceover too, so my whole life is voiceover, and that's my entire existence. And that's me.
That's actually quite amazing to know. Like, voice acting is your life. You don't escape from it.
Yeah, basically, I kind of like fell into it. I went to college to be an animator, and I decided that I didn't have the patience to sit there and draw every frame of everything. So I'm like, wait a second, I love designing these characters, but I can design them with my voice, and this is more fun. So I'm going to do voiceover now after paying all this money to college.
Now, I'm curious as to what was your first big role when you got into the anime world?
I would say my first big anime role was Arya in Pokemon. And that one I had done a while ago, and then I didn't fully jump into the anime scene for another few years. But that was my first big one, I think, if I have my timeline correctly in my head. But I think that was my first big one. And then once... Mm-hmm, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go right ahead.
Yeah, and then once I jumped into the anime scene, Ryuyu was actually one of the first big roles that I started recording, because we started recording it such a long time ago. I had a bunch of bit parts in different anime things, and then I got cast as Ryuyu, so I started working on that, but other shows came out before this came out. So it's kind of like all backwards in my timeline, but Ryuyu is one of the first ones that I actually booked once I fully jumped into the anime scene.
Now, when you first were found out about, Show by Rock, was it something you were looking for auditions and things of that nature? Were you surprised when you got cast as Ryuyu?
Oh my! I love idol anime so much, so it was a big surprise. It was I had gotten a call for the audition from my agent, and and went and read for it, and I don't even know how long after that. A few months later, I guess I heard back, and I was like maybe not so silently screaming. I was so excited.
And I can tell you from a fan's perspective, when I first watched, Show by Rock, Mashumiresh, I watched it in Japanese like everybody else did, and I screamed, it needs an anime adaptation. Understanding that there is a big transition period from when it gets dropped in Japan. It wasn't one that was planned for a simul-dub, so it was going to be recorded as it could, and then, of course, the pandemic hit. I almost lost hope that they were going to, English dub it, and then Show by Rock Stars came out, and I was like, oh my god, I need to know who was going to voice the Mashumiresh characters. Not just Mashumiresh Band, but all the characters from that, because Show by Rock Stars was so good as well. And being a huge fan of the anime, and the anime, for those out there who don't know, it's not your typical musical anime. It's not an idol anime. It's not like Zombieland Saga or K-On! Or Love Live. If I had to sum up Show by Rock, I would say it's an anime that shows the power of music and the power of friendship. And when I say music, I don't mean one specific genre. I mean music as a whole. Everything from pop to traditional Japanese music to heavy metal to rock to you name it, it's in this show.
Yes.
And I think that's one reason that I love it. And the songs in Japanese are amazing. And the fact they got to not just, sing bits and pieces of songs in English, but you got to record everything in English is that much more amazing, and they all sound great.
Oh, thank you. I was so excited to sing them. I was like, do we get to do them? Do we? And I had seen that previous season had done the song, so I'm like, ooh, I think we're going to do them. And then we did, and it was just so amazing. And then we got to actually hear them when they came out, and I was like, this was actually, I've done characters that sing before, but usually I voice a lot of preschool toys, so usually when I'm singing it's in character, and it's usually like a little boy voice or something. So Ruhu used one of the first characters that uses a little bit more like my natural singing voice. So that was both scary and so exciting, and I loved every single second of it. It was so much fun.
And I was talking with Megan Shipman last week when she was on the show, and I had mentioned to her, Yell in Response has bumped Have a Nice Music as my favorite Show by Rock song in the franchise.
Oh, that one's so much fun. I love that one too.
And now, looking ahead as conventions are coming back, if you had the opportunity to sing that at a convention, would you do it?
Yes. Yes. Do you have any connections? Like, hook me up. Yes, please. Oh, that would be so much fun. I would love like all of us to get on stage and like actually like jam. It would be so cool.
Would y'all be cosplaying?
Attention listeners, please tell conventions to bring us to do cool stuff like that. That would be really cool.
I don't know if you heard Darren, but he asked, would you all cosplay as your character while singing?
Oh, that'd be fun. Oh, I would totally be down. Yeah.
I know Emmy could pull off Delmine very well, because Emmy's done some cosplay in the past. We've had the honor of interviewing her a couple years ago, I think it was now. And I think that would be a lot of fun to see you guys up on a stage to just singing and having fun. And
oh man, yeah. That would be the coolest thing in the universe. Like, seriously.
And I do have a fun idea to ask all of you next week before we go on the air, because Mashumiresh has their own little intro. And I think that would be really cool when we have all of you on the show to just run through that intro, as when we go live.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Can you tell I'm a fan?
I'm a fan too. Like I'm like, have you seen the show yet? Like, you have to watch the show. Like, I tell everybody, like, I made my 15-year-old son watch the show. He's like, Ma, this isn't really something that I watch too much. Like, and he actually like really got into it too. He's like, okay, this is pretty cool. So anything that Mom does is like not cool. So the fact that he thought this was pretty cool, is I guess pretty cool.
Yeah, we introduced our 9-year-old daughter to Show by Rock, and she's watched all of season 1, quite a few of the shorts. I'm not sure if she's gotten fully into season 2 because she only watches it because it's a kind of a split custody kind of deal with her. So we get her every other weekend, so she watches the anime stuff when she's here. So
right.
Now that Mashumiresh has been dubbed, because she wouldn't have the capacity to keep up with subtitles, we can continue that once she gets to that point.
Yes, I love that.
We gotta get the kids into the anime young, you know.
Uh-huh.
Our 3-year-old is a trooper. She's already been to, oh gosh, she's probably been to over 20 conventions.
Oh wow. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's so cool. Like, when I was growing up, we didn't have like so much access to everything. Like, we had like dial up, and you had to like really search to find like anything. I think the first anime that I watched was Samurai Pizza Cats. I don't know if anybody remembers that. But like, there was very little to find out there, and now everybody has like so much more access to everything. It's so cool. I feel like I have so much catching up to do.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of Samurai Pizza Cats. Have you heard of that one, Darren?
Oh.
Can't say I have.
You have to look it up. It's crazy. It's like I'm aging myself here. Like, I had like an antenna TV, and that was like one of the channels that would come in, and it was like I had to watch it like it was all like fuzzy and everything. It was an interesting time.
I laugh you talk about. Oh, go ahead, Darren.
I remember those days, pre-digital stuff. I had a TV in my room. Whenever something happened, my parents would take the antenna away from me more than the TV, and I still had a couple channels I could still pick up even without the antenna.
Yeah.
And it would be fuzzy as heck. But thankfully, one of the channels I could pick up all the time was the CW, which had a lot of the 4Kids stuff at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I was watching a lot of the 4Kids dubbed versions of shows.
Mhm.
And talking about predating, I had one of those quizzes come through on Facebook, on my wife's Facebook page. It was like, how old are you? Do you remember this, and this? And it was like 4 different things, and I said yes to all of them. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh no.
And it was everything from black and white TV with tinfoil on the antenna, which was a yes, to a dial a rotary phone. Yep. Because we had one of those. Have the like 5 mile long phone cord connected to one phone so you could walk around the house. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I forget. And the fourth one was, do you know what 8-tracks are? And I'm like, yes, because music was very big in our house growing up. So we had everything from reel-to-reel to 8-tracks to record players for not just 33s, 45s, but we had 16s and 78s. Cassette player all the way up. Like, we had going way back.
I kind of grew up with it was we had CDs, but it was like you had like I forget what, like Discman, I think they called them. So like you're trying to walk around, and you can't like move too fast or the music skips, and that was that was a bad time.
But it was better than carrying the big boom boxes.
Yep.
Back in the 80s. And, I don't want to predate myself too much, but yeah, I was born a long time ago in a land far, far away, waiting to get isekai'd now. And,
When did Walkman start becoming a thing?
oh, God, I don't know.
I had one. I don't remember when it was. But I think I thought I was pretty cool when I had one.
My mom still has hers, and then my uncle, he has his own little thing dedicated to 8-tracks. I'll tell you about that later, but he loves a lot of the older stuff and will literally talk to anybody on the street about it and leave people questioning stuff. Mostly,
oh no.
Am I really this old?
All right, here we go. I looked up Walkman. The first Walkman prototype was built and released in 1977.
Well, that's before my time. So
That's a year before me. I was born in 78.
I think I remember something, there was an episode of Pawn Stars where they brought in one of the first Walkmans from Japan.
Oh, cool.
Got a little history lesson on that. It was, it had 2 ports on it to where you could actually split the music between 2 sets of headphones.
Really? I haven't watched that show in such a long time. I haven't watched TV in such a long time.
Well,
I miss
a lot
TV.
A lot of that stuff came up on my Facebook feed. A lot of the shows like Pawn Stars, Kitchen Nightmares, just random stuff that I'm kind of curious. But once I got to watching them, I'm like, okay, this is actually entertaining and somewhat educational too.
Uh-huh.
So you're watching.
Usually, I'll put the TV on, but it's to fall asleep at night. I'm like, what show am I going to watch for 30 seconds before I fall asleep? It has to be the perfect show that I'm not interested enough that I stay awake. That it's just okay, that's good background sound.
I was like that for a while. If you had to have the noise on in the background so I could just fall asleep.
Yep. Now if I am staying someplace that has no TV, I'm like, what's going on? It's too quiet. I can't fall asleep. It's probably not good for you, now that I think about it. But I don't know. I have no desire to change.
Well, I've fallen asleep enough during some of these shows. I don't know if that was just good background noise or the fact that I was just that tired.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds like, yeah, listen to Anime-Zing Radio. We'll put you to sleep. That's not the type of advertising we want, Darren.
Oh, no.
No.
I like to think we're a little bit more interesting than that. I think it's just because you're exhausted.
Yeah, I would go with the exhaustion.
That and the fact that you do the show lying in your bed surrounded by dakimakuras.
What?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I got one on each side.
Okay, that's cool.
Glad someone thinks so.
And we have a question that just came in from the chat room. Mario wanted to know, what was it like to audition for Gleitner?
What was it like? That one, I'm trying to think back when that one came in. That audition came in from a studio that I work with. I think I remember auditioning for maybe a few characters for that one. But when I read for Sayaka, I was like, okay, this is cool. This is like a little bit outside of what I normally read for, what I normally audition for. Because I'm normally like the upbeat, friendly characters, and she was quite a bit darker, sexier, like a much different vibe than what I normally read for. So that was pretty cool to audition for that, and then booking that was a really neat thing also.
I was gonna ask you about Gleitner because that whole show was one of the more interesting ones from a few seasons ago, and your character in general was definitely kind of out there in regards to when you first met her.
Yes,
You know what?
yes, that was an interesting opening scene. It's interesting opening scene for her, but I really enjoyed kind of getting into a different mindset with that character and playing with a different range and different sort of attitude than a lot of my characters are. So that was a lot of fun.
I apologize about that little soundbite there. I was scrolling through, getting ready for our commercial break, and I accidentally hit a play button. I was like, no!
Oh!
On that note, we do have to go to our top of the hour break, but when we come back, we're going to have more with Lindsay Shepherd, talking more about Ryuyu. Maybe we'll even jump into some Last Dungeon boonies, because that's a fun show to talk about as well. Definitely you want to stay tuned for more Anime-Zing Radio. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me as always in our co-host seat is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello.
And we are joined tonight by an amazingly talented young lady. Love her work in the two shows that I have seen her in, which includes Show by Rock Mashumiresh, where she voices Rihuyu, and she's also the voice of Lolly Grandma Alka from Suppose a Kid from The Last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. Please welcome Lindsay Sheppard back to the show.
Hello, everybody.
And I had to throw Lolly Grandma out there because that term got used so much in that show, and every time it annoyed your character.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I love that show so much. I've never seen so much hysterical, funny screaming between characters as much as like in any other show as much as this one. That show is just insanely funny.
What was it
Go
like?
watch Konosuba.
you
What was that?
You said, yeah, you go watch Konosuba.
Oh, yeah.
And your character is an entertaining one because she looks so young, but she is probably older than everybody else there. And
Yes, like me.
and she is an adorable character in the show. I will give her that much. But what was it like to be a part of Last Dungeon Boonies?
Oh, I was so happy to be part of that. So many people that I've admired are in the show, and friends that I haven't been able to work with yet, on a show together. Getting to work with them was amazing. And I mean, the show is just so funny. So I just absolutely loved it. I loved being able to watch it afterwards and see how everything came together and laugh hysterically again. Yeah, that's the best way to describe the show, is just laughing hysterically and trying to make it through a take when you're listening to everybody else's amazing performances. Oh, it was so much fun.
Now, I'm curious, knowing that the voice acting world was turned on their heads last year when the pandemic hit, and a lot of people were left trying to figure out how are they going to continue to work, providing the voiceovers and things like that. I know a lot of younger voice actors had to learn how to build their own quiet booths in their home and things like that. Was that a big transition for you as well, or is that something that you had done previously? Because, as you said, you voice for many things, not just anime.
Right. I've had a booth for a long time, so it wasn't too much of a transition for me. I just had to move some things around so that I could see my screen better while recording. But I pretty much had everything already set up. I had actually done a dub a few years prior to the pandemic, that I recorded over 50 episodes of a cartoon from home. So I was already familiar with dubbing from home. So when this happened, it really wasn't too much that I had to change up. But of course now that I moved everything around, I'm like, oh, maybe this would be nice. I'll upgrade this thing. I'll change this. Oh, what if I just completely flip everything in my booth completely to the other side, just for fun, because I think that would be better. So I had everything, but I wasn't happy with it, with everything, as I spent more time in the setup that I had. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna change up everything anyway.
And has things kind of gotten back to normal? Are you able to get back into Funimation or some of the other companies to do some recording now that things are starting to ease up, or are you still primarily just doing the home recordings?
I'm still recording from home, and that's pretty much how it's kind of always been for me. Like, I would record maybe 90% of my work from home, and then occasionally go in studio. So pre-pandemic, I would drive up to Dallas here and there to do some recording, but the majority of my work is just from my home studio.
I've always wondered about that. Like, I am an idiot when it comes to, like, a lot of this stuff. A lot of the computerized stuff. Like, that's one thing I enjoyed about Blog Talk is I could just, punch in a couple of numbers, hit go, and, okay, we have a show. I figure out how to do buttons. I know how to call guests in, things like that. Very mindless, which is easy for an old guy like me. And so I've always been fascinating. I'm an Aries by nature, born in early April. So I'm one of those people who wants to know a little about everything and a lot about nothing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm kind of the same way. I don't know. I kind of get like obsessed with the details. Like I want to know like a lot about lots of things. But I'm so ADHD that I move to different hobbies all the time. I'm like, I want to learn about that. I want to learn about that. But for home studios, like I know my equipment. My husband knows more. He puts a lot of the stuff together. But yeah. What were we talking about? ADHD.
To be honest, this could be bad. ADHD, and I have shiny object syndrome. Oh, look, a squirrel.
Yes.
Welcome to the show where we don't remember anything. No.
What are we doing?
We're just having fun tonight. Again, thank you to everybody out there who's tuning in, whether you're tuning in through Blog Talk Radio or through YouTube. We hope you're enjoying the show. Our guest tonight is the very talented Lindsay Sheppard, and she is, like I said, she's an amazing voice actress. And what got you interested in doing voice acting? I know you had talked about that you wanted to be an animator at first, and then you're like, well, maybe I can just do the voices. Did you always have that inkling to want to do the voiceovers, or was it just like, let me give this a try?
So, growing up, like I was always obsessed with cartoons, like any type of cartoon. Rob Paulson is like a huge inspiration to me. And I always knew what voice actors were, but I didn't think like regular people could be voice actors too. I thought you had to be in Los Angeles, and like that's just the way it is. You have to be like, you just have to be a voice actor, and like regular people don't get to do that. So I always loved cartoons. I'd spend hours every single day drawing. So I went to college for animation to become an animator. And I was the only girl in my class. So for all of our student projects, I ended up having to do the voices for them. And I was like, yeah, this is really fun. So I graduated. I have a degree in animation that I've never used. And I'm like, yeah, never mind student loans and everything. I'm just going to do this instead. So I just did that. I'm like, okay, now that I have my degree in animation and I decided not to use it, let me look up how to be a voice actor. And I ended up quitting the job that I had and spent like a month just researching like how do girls do boy voices in voiceover. Like I didn't know anything. And then I auditioned for a show. I found like something, it was like on Craigslist or something. It was they were looking for somebody to be the dub voice for this character Jimmy in The Adventures of Shan Mao and Jimmy, which is a Chinese animation. And I went for that, and I got it. And that was my first thing. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a big shot voice actor now. Look at me. Like, everything is awesome. And that's not how it works. You don't just land a role and then, like, you become famous. It's just, it's a constant hustle. So once I booked that, I'm like, okay, now I really have to know how do I be a voice actor. And I just spent so much time studying and coaching and just working and working and working. And then finally, like, I started landing some things and then some other things, and then I started working in commercials and then learning narration and animation, and it's like the longest, worst get-rich-quick scheme in the universe. You just have to keep on working and never stop in order to make it in voiceover, basically. Just keep on going. So I've kept on going for 20 years, and now here I am.
It's great that, things are still going good for you, and like I said, Ryu is an adorable character, and I'm so happy that we were able to get a chance to chat with you, through your work, which is one of the fun things about the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Because through the last 7.5 years of Anime-Zing Radio, we've talked with many, many voice actors. Everybody from the big names of Monica Rial, Todd Habercorn, J. Michael Tatum, to up-and-coming faces. Megan Shipman, we had her on the show, and I think she had 4 named roles on the Behind the Voice Actors page. Morgan Berry, when we had her on the first time, she also was fairly new to the scene. Danny Chambers, I think we were her first official interview. So we've grown a knack of reaching out and finding a lot of the newer faces or the next generation of the anime voice actors. And I've loved to watch how your careers have grown through the years after getting a chance to talk with you. And many of them we still have on the show and talk to on a regular basis. And, you guys are just amazing people. And, I have a ton of respect for the work you guys do. I know it's not easy, even though the general public may think all you do is go and make a funny voice and look, you're famous. I know that's definitely not the case.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for saying that. Voiceover is not easy. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of always investing in your career and learning how you can be better and do better and make more connections and be in the right places at the right time, and a lot of luck too. It's never just easy. You just have to keep on hustling, basically.
And I'm curious, where you've been voice acting for 20 years, but you're still fairly new to the anime side of things. Are you looking forward to? Have you attended anime and comic conventions in the past? Are you familiar with those? Are you? I know that we talked about having you go to some in the future as a guest and sing, but.
Yes, I have been to a few conventions. I would love to go to more, like a lot more, please. They're so much fun. I just love getting to meet everybody at these things and seeing everybody's creativity. It's such a cool atmosphere. So yeah, I would love to go to more soon, please.
Have you cosplayed in the past as favorite characters from shows or anything like that?
Back in college, actually, I'm a huge Broadway nerd. So we had this Halloween costume contest, which was basically cosplay thing, and I made a cat costume, from the Broadway show Cats. Made everything, every detail, took markers and colored on the fabric. So I've done that sort of costume thing, I guess. I don't know, but official cosplay I haven't. I've done some closet cosplay, but it's way more sewing skills than I have. So I haven't done too much cosplay.
If you were able to get a cosplay of any of your favorite characters, who would you want to cosplay?
Who would I want to cosplay? Oh man, it's trying to pick through all my children. I don't know who has the coolest costume. Who has the coolest costume? You know what? I'm just gonna have to say Ruhuyu because that's she's just so cool, and it would be so much fun to have like an official cosplay of her.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think
so I'm gonna go with Ruhuyu.
And I think the people on my Facebook page, my Facebook friends list, if they don't know what I do, they are wondering why I've been posting a different picture of Ruhuyu every day this week in honor of promoting the show tonight.
Oh, that's so awesome!
Because, come on, she's absolutely adorable, and those drumsticks are so cute. That's something that you would need to find. You know, the paw pads for the tips of the drumsticks.
Yes, seriously. Oh man, I would love that. My daughter used to have purple drumsticks, and I think we got rid of them because she kept on running with them, and pointy objects and small children don't always go together, so I think we got rid of them because we're like helicopter parents. But if I could find them again, I would totally like have them in every picture, just like in the background or something. Be like, look, it's purple drumsticks.
I'm definitely going to have to throw your name out to a lot of the convention promoters I know up here in the Northeast and be like, you've got to get Lindsay Sheppard to these shows because she's amazing.
Oh,
plus, I
would love that.
I really want to meet all of you guys because, like I said, I have a lot of respect for you. I'm a fan of your work, and I am extremely thankful for you taking the time out of your schedule to come on, hang out with us tonight. It never ceases to amaze me and humble me to just how awesome you guys all are.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me, inviting me here, and I'm so looking forward to next week too. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
I know. I have been hyping up. In fact, it doesn't happen often, but tomorrow night I'm actually going to be a guest on another podcast called The Chaotic Goodcast. They talk more about tabletop gaming and things like that. We had them on the show a few weeks ago, and I was like, we have a big show coming up next week. Do you have any room for me to come on and just do a little bit of promotions? And he gets back to me and goes, sure. In fact, we're going to talk about anime tabletop games, so plan to be here the full 90 minutes. Okay.
Oh, that's so cool. Awesome.
So we'll be talking more about, Show by Rock, Mashumiresh, and a few other animes to promote to a tabletop and role-playing group.
Yes. And actually, if you should hype Dragon Goes House Hunting. That's the one I'm in right now. I play the cutest little baby bird. He's literally a baby bird, and I just make bird sounds the whole show. But that one is out right now, and it's Dragon Goes House Hunting. It's very it's got like all sorts of fantasy creatures and all sorts of stuff, so that would be a really fun one to talk about.
And I'll be honest, I started watching Dragon Goes House Hunting in Japanese. I haven't started it in English, and the main character, and this is one thing where when you say it, it sounds cruel, but it's really a compliment to how good the voice acting is. The dragon's voice actor in Japanese was so whiny. It fit the character perfectly, but the character itself was so whiny, which means the voice acting was that good. I just couldn't get through it. So it's like, it looks like a cute concept. I know my wife is watching it. She's like, it's good. You just gotta get through. Watch it in English if you can't stomach it in Japanese. And they said, it's not a detriment to saying, oh, it's a bad job voice acting. In fact, it's the opposite in many cases of they did such a good job voice acting this character to make them annoying or detestable or whatever the case may be, depending on the show. So I'll have to give that a shot again.
The English dub is so good. It's really funny, and I get to be so adorable in it. Seriously, ridiculously adorable. And get this best baby bird Baby Bird award goes to Pip. But it's on now. I think another episode just dropped today. It's really good. You should watch it.
Are you able to hang out for the last segment of the show?
I should be able to hang out for a little bit.
All right, cool. We are going to go to our last break of the night, and when we come back, we'll have more bonus time with Lindsay Sheppard. We'll talk more, find out more about the Dragon Goes house hunting and Pip, because I am now intrigued to find out more about this little baby bird, and definitely going to have a lot more fun. So stay tuned for more Anime-Zing Radio right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. That would help if I could find the right song. There it is. A little preview for next week's show. I cannot find an English version of Yell and Response, so I had to download the Japanese version. Like I said, I loved the music from the series. It is a phenomenal series, and I can't speak enough good of the franchise. And there's a lot of good shows out there, and it's like all these big name shows that are out there that are hyped up. It's like I would take Show by Rock over My Hero Academia. I would take it over Naruto or One Piece or Bleach. I would rather watch Show by Rock than watch Fairy Tail. Now I'm jealous because it's like I need to find some Ryuyu stuff, and I don't know what's out there for her. Ah. I see. Yeah, I know Megan says that she keeps her collection keeps growing every time she voices a different character. It's like I need to find everything, and it's like I don't have a small collection. I've got quite a few figures, and it hasn't grown as much as I would like it to with no conventions. But then we found out that right across the lake in Essex, Vermont, there's a anime store. So I think this year we've been over there twice and probably spent about $300 on figures. I can understand that. Like I said, because we've had many different convention promoters on the show in the past. Sam Chase with Plattsburgh Comic Con and Saratoga Comic Con. Gary Summers with Northeast Comic Con, which is actually a convention that my wife and I got married at years ago. We're the nerdy love story. We actually, a fun fact, we actually share the same wedding anniversary as Megan Shipman and her husband, same day, month, and year. She laughs at us saying that our wedding was cooler than hers because we got photobombed by Barry Bostwick. So we got about 40 seconds left on this song, and then we'll play show ID and go live again. And I just gotta figure out what ID. You still there, Darren, or did you zonk out? He said he was pretty dead on his feet. I think he worked like a 14, 16-hour day today. He got home at like 7 p.m. So like an hour before the show started. Alrighty, putting the mics live, and we'll be back on the air. And welcome back to Anime-Zing Radio here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining us in the co-host seat is Darren Starling. I think he might have muted his phone for a bit or stepped away. Are you still there, Darren? So I think he stepped away, but we are honored to have an amazing guest joining us tonight. Lindsay Sheppard, very talented voice actress, is hanging out. She wanted to come back for the bonus segment here. And please welcome back Lindsay Sheppard to the show.
Hello, hello, hello.
We haven't scared her away, and she's excited about coming back next week to talk more Show by Rock Mashumiresh as we bring the whole band on. And this is going to be a fun and chaotic show. And I will apologize in advance to you and to all of our listeners out there. There is a very high chance of me fanboying. I won't lie. It doesn't happen very often, but when I really get big into a show, there's times when I just cannot keep it in because I am an anime fan. I joke around at work. I work as a mechanic at a Ford dealership in upstate New York, and I look at him and I say, I identify as an otaku. And I geek out about this stuff, so I'm going to annoy you talking about it. Just a warning.
Well, that's awesome.
And now, have you been a fan of anime for a long time? You were talking about, was it Pizza Cat Samurai? Was that the name of the anime from years ago that you watched?
Yeah. So I watched whatever anime that was available to me when I was growing up. So Samurai Pizza Cats was out there. Huge Pokemon fan. I was around when it first came out, and I became like obsessed. I actually would spend my summer vacations going to the library instead of hanging out with people and trying to learn Japanese from books in the library so that I could translate the merchandise that I would get from Pokemon. They're like, what does this say? So yeah, I've been a fan for a long time. Pokemon was a big one. Huge Team Rocket fan. And then I got older and I had my kids. So when I came back to anime, I like, there is so much more anime available now, and I had like so much to catch up on from the years that my kids were growing up that I didn't get to really watch all of it. So I'm still playing catch up. See all the things that I missed in the time when it was really hard to find any anime to now being able to see like any anime you want ever.
And I had to play the bunny sound clip. Darren will be mad he missed that, but that was a sound clip he was talking about. Kylie Stewart voiced the character Momo in Demon Lord Retry, and she brought that character after everything that she said had to say bunny. Well, Kylie would change how she said bunny every time she would say it, so it kind of brought on a life of its own to me and my wife, because we picked up on that and kind of just had fun with it. So it was just that one particular bunny that stuck out. So when we had her on the show, I played it for her and she started laughing. So it's become kind of a fun little insert here and there to put in the show.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I don't do this often, but knowing that you are the voice of my wife's favorite character, is there any chance you could give her a shout-out as Rihuyu?
Yeah. What's her name?
Her name is Leanne.
Leanne. Okay. Let's see. What would Rihuyu say? Hi, Leanne. I'm so excited to meet you. I'm just lunatic excited.
I will definitely have to cut that out and send that to her later. I know that she will be excited. It never... Mario in our chat room goes, dies. We have some of the greatest fans that tune in every week. Mario's been a fan of the show since we started over 7 years ago. Very, very smart, and he currently is in the Netherlands, so big time difference, and he stays up to be able to listen to us every week. And he actually joined us as a guest co-host last week with Megan. So we love our fans. I love to do things like that for our fans. And
well, thank you, Mario, for joining us at this late or early or whatever time it is over there. Thank you.
And our fans are always so knowledgeable too. It's one thing that amazes me, because I'm in my 40s. I work. I can't watch everything. I don't keep up with everything. But we have people around me that, Darren will constantly shoot me messages about, okay, well, here's some news stories that are going down. Mario, if I get stumped on something, I'll look in the chat. Mario will be like, it's this. Okay, cool. Thank you. So I love the fans. I love the people who have supported us through the years. And sometimes, has it ever hit you where you're doing something, you're like, damn, I've been doing this for this amount of years. Where did the time go?
Yeah, and every day I'm just so thankful that this is what I get to do, too. Like, I don't take it for granted. I'm like, being able to do this and spend time with my kids, watch them grow up, and, like, this is, like, a really freaking cool job that I get to do. So I never lose sight of it. And the fact that I've been able to do this for so long it's crazy to me. And the fact that I started so long ago, it really feels like yesterday. Like seriously.
Because you had mentioned that you'd been doing different voiceover work for over 20 years. I'm like, why had I never heard your name before?
I work in so many different genres. Like, it's basically whatever's in my inbox. So it depends, I guess, on which genre you follow. I do a lot of these things called, I don't know if you've heard of them. They're like iPad games, like hidden object puzzle adventure games. I do a lot of those. So I don't think too many people have heard who does the voices in these little click and find the object games on the iPad.
That's interesting. It's funny. It's from watching anime and starting to be able to talk with voice actors that it's really been like, I have a 3-year-old. She's got toys that talk. It's like, who does the voice for that? I wonder. But you never think to look it up. It's just like, oh, look, it's a toy and it talks. I think most people never really pay attention to wondering, who had to make these voices or these sounds or whatnot for these kids' books?
I did it. It's me. I'm the voice that's annoying you because the toy won't shut up. Your kid won't stop pressing the button.
You're like, I'm the person that has been annoying all of you for years from the kids' toys that, they just have to hit this button.
Oh, that's so funny.
Are you back with us, Darren? I hear some noise coming from over there. Nope, I don't think he is there. So we'll put his mic on mute just in case there was some background noise or something coming in, and he'll message me when he returns.
Okay.
And it's been, like, I know I've said this a ton, but really it's been an honor to have you on the show. I am so thankful to have reached out to you and to be able to chat with you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you reaching out to me. I love doing this.
And I always laugh because I walk away from doing interviews like this a bigger fan of our guests than I was beforehand, because before getting to chat with you as Lindsay, a lot of the fans get to know you as Ryuyu or Pip or Alka, the characters that you voice. They never really get to learn about you as a voice actress. And shows like this, being able to talk with you, get to know who you are as a person, makes me become more of a fan of you, not just your work.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm glad I didn't scare you off.
And it was funny. Megan last week was like, "Oh, you're gonna love Lindsay. She's a ball of fire. She's very upbeat. You're gonna have a great time chatting with her." And it's one thing that.
I love Megan. She's amazing.
And I know that Show by Rock, Mashumiresh, was her first solo directing job. She'd been assistant director on a lot of things, and I have to say she killed it. From a fan standpoint, she did an amazing job.
She was amazing to work with, and especially when this was. I knew this was her first thing, and she took a chance bringing me on, and I hadn't done a major character like this in a dub before. So she was patient, kind of showing me the ropes and everything and figuring out how it works. And Ryuyu talks a lot. Like, a lot. I had so many lines. And she was just, she helped me through all of it, and she's always just so upbeat with everything, and she was amazing. I can't sing enough praises for her. She's so good.
And Megan had mentioned a fun little story with you where you had asked her, are there any good sound clips from Mashumiresh I could use for a voice reel or a visual reel? And she said, yeah, what about when you voice everybody in your little dream that Ryuyu has?
Yes, and I did. I put that in there. I opened my visual reel with that scene. That was so much fun to record. She's just like, you're just gonna do all of the voices. I'm like, okay. And she's going and putting in the script it's all me. It's all Ryuyu. And that was a blast to record that.
And knowing that Ryuyu is just that ball of fire, she a go-getter and things like that. Have you had a chance to watch Mashumiresh or Show by Rock Stars to see where the story is going to continue?
I watched a little bit. I don't want to spoil too much for myself when recording. Usually when I do these shows, I like to watch the first couple episodes to kind of get a feel for the character and what everybody's like, how that character interacts with everybody, just so I have an idea. But I don't like to jump too far ahead, and I feel like for me it kind of affects the performance. It becomes a little bit less authentic, rather instead of I like to just kind of have it be spontaneous. Like I'm watching this and now I'm recording it. I like to be surprised, like the character's being surprised. Character doesn't know what's happening, what's going to come. So I like to be there with them.
That's really interesting.
But yeah, so I watched a couple episodes of Stars, just so I could see what's happening, and listen to some of the songs. But I haven't been able to watch all of it yet.
I will say that after Show by Rock Stars ended, I am like within minutes I was on Facebook going, "You need to dub this series." Now, of course, the fans don't know that these are in the process of being dubbed, because Mashumiresh was a 1.5 year long project thanks to COVID, where you got cast and then there was a wait trying to figure out, okay, what do we do now for recording, things of that nature, and then a long process of recording, getting the songs down, things of that nature. So at the time, I'm crying, Mashumiresh needs to get dubbed. I had no clue that you guys were already in the process of doing that. And I can't wait to see your performance in Stars, because, my God, Stars was amazing.
Oh, fingers crossed. But yeah, I love these characters. I love this show so much, and I want to spend like my life in Show by Rock universe, please.
And we definitely need more seasons of Show by Rock, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes.
I'm biased because I love this show. I'm not in it at all. I just love this show, and I will promote it. This is, I think, our 6th anime-related special that we have done. All the way back. Our first one was New Game, because I fell in love with that anime. And then we had Devil is a Part-Timer we did. My Hero Academia. We did Keijo. I think there was a 5th one in there as well before this one. I just don't remember because it's late. My mind's like, eh. But that's one thing that's going to be fun about the Mashumiresh special next week, is just getting to not just a chance for us to talk with all of you, but it's going to be a chance for all of you guys to talk and relive a lot of memories from your perspective of recording for the show.
Yes, and I'm super looking forward to that. Like when we're recording, we're not recording all together. So when we watch the show, that's the first time we're really seeing all of our characters interact. So I'm like so excited to chat with everybody about all of that and like get together and oh, it's going to be so cool. I can't wait.
And I asked for everybody to try to clear 90 minutes, because we're going to bring you guys on at our first commercial break, and then I don't want to take another commercial break until the end of the show. Like, I want to get all the sponsors paid in the first commercial break, and I want it to just be like 90 minutes of talking Mashumiresh and getting to hear the stories. And in some ways, it's just like, all right, you guys just let us know what, how much fun you had recording this, what it was like, and just sit back and let you guys go like it's a panel at a convention.
Oh, it's going to be great.
And so really looking forward to that. And like I said, you did an amazing job as Ryuyu. And I it may sound weird to say this, and it may sound like to listeners, I'm just saying this because you're on the show, but I loved Ryuyu from Japanese. I loved her more after hearing her in English. And I think that's what bumped her up to the 1A. Like right there with Hawan.
That's cute. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Because she is such an adorable character, and I don't know Japanese, so I can only go off of like the performance and reading the subtitles and stuff, but you still have a good idea of what's going on. And of course the music is fantastic in both Japanese and English. And one thing, I don't know if I surprised Megan last week when I asked her about Yell in Response the first time that you all sang it on the street performance. My wife and I looked at each other and were like, that sounds off. And then I thought about it more, and I'm like, well, Holland just joined this group that is fairly new themselves. They wouldn't sound 100% polished by having a random stranger join in. I wonder if that was done on purpose. Which Megan said that it was done on purpose, so I don't know if she was surprised that I picked up on that or whatnot, or if I'm just watched way too much animes that I noticed these subtle little things, but...
You know all the secrets.
I wouldn't say I know all the secrets, but that was like an amazing concept, and hats off to all of you guys for, you know, going along with it and being like, you know what, that it just is amazing. It like I said, the work you guys do never ceases to amaze me, because it's something I would like to try, but don't know if I could ever do it.
Well, email me and I'll help you out. I can get you started.
Because I know it sounds like a lot of fun, and even like small things or stuff like that, but I'm one of those people, like, I very rarely do I go back and re-listen to the shows I do, because I hate the sound of my voice, and I know so many people who say that. And
I say that, you know, I when I'm listening to myself, I'm like, oh, I sound too much like me. Like, no, I don't like that. Like, I don't want to sound like me.
And I've noticed, like, as I've gotten older, my voice comes across a lot more nasally and things of that nature, and so I think we're our own worst enemies in many cases, and so it's one thing I have to get over. But like I said, this show was a very big stretch for me when I first started. It took about 6 months of planning before we launched. Way back, it was April 6, 2014. Our first ever guest was Tia Ballard. And, you know, it was a big leap of faith, but I've been doing internet radio for years, but it was paranormal talk radio, not anime.
Ooh, paranormal, that's up my alley.
Because I've been a paranormal investigator since I was 19.
Oh, okay. We have to talk, because I used to go on my college days. Me and my friends would all go on ghost hunts, and we just drive around Long Island for hours, all through the night, just looking for ghosts. And that's what we did. Occasionally, we would go into a building, but then we'd get too scared, so we'd just drive around some more.
Yeah, I've been a part of paranormal teams, or helped with evidence review on paranormal teams in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, and Colorado.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have been, like, where you're a fan of the paranormal, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the TV shows. Have you heard of Rolling Hills in Western New York?
I have not.
Ghost Adventures has been there.
It pushes you up. That it pushes you up the hill?
No.
No, okay. I was thinking someplace else then.
I think you're thinking Waverly Hills down in Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
That one was a haunted old tuberculosis hospital. Rolling Hills is an old county poorhouse, and Ghost Adventures did a live Halloween special from there. Ghost Hunters has been there twice. I've been locked in overnight twice with 2 different groups. And it's the first location where I got to see a full-bodied apparition that was so clear that it fooled the founder of the group that I was a part of, and she was a retired cop. So she doesn't get fooled by much. She thought that was somebody because it was a public event mixed in with our investigation and a special event that Rolling Hills was putting on, so she thought somebody was lost. But by the time she got to the double swinging doors where we saw the person, they vanished.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't go through either set of doors or up the stairs.
Okay, that's cool. I got stories to tell you. I got all sorts of things that I've seen and everything. Oh, but I could go on for hours.
I might shoot you an email with my personal number. We could just talk and do ghost stories and things like that for hours because I love the paranormal world and whatnot.
Awesome.
We have about a little over 3 minutes left on the show. I want to give you an opportunity to promote yourself, websites, anywhere people can find you. We call this our shameless plugging section, and the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. So you can find me. Bubblegumvoice.com is my official website. I am on Twitter, like, all the time, at LShepardVO. I'm also the founder of Lone Star VO, which is an education and community resource for voice actors or people that want to become voice actors in or around Texas. We have classes and meetups and all sorts of cool events and everything. And I coach through there too, and that's a lot of fun. And you don't have to be from Texas to join. That's LoneStarVO.com. What else? What else? I didn't plan this. Go and watch Dragon Ghost House Hunting. I'm in that now. That's on Funimation. I am Pip, the cute little bird. Did I do it? Did I do it all? Is that all my things? I think that might be all my things. Ta-da!
It's like we could also promote the work that you've been in that's out already, including Show by Rock Mashumiresh, and also Suppose a Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. Mario said because of us, he has started watching Last Dungeon Boonies.
Oh, that's awesome! Let me pull up the list of things that are out now that you can watch. So, I am in a movie that is coming out some point soon. It is called SEAL Team, and J.K. Simmons is in that, Kristen Schaal, Patrick Warburton, a whole bunch of crazy, awesome people are in there, and I'm in there too. That will be coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. That's called SEAL Team. I play a bunch of sharks in that, which is really fun. What else is out?
90 seconds.
We got Show by Rock, Dragon Ghost House Hunting, Suppose a Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies. Banania Season 2 is out also. I am the narrator in that. What else? I'm trying to think of what else is out now.
Your favorite children's
Gleitner. Oh, favorite children's toy.
I was saying
60 seconds.
There's video games coming out. Okay, I'm in Disgaea 6. Just came out recently. I play Mecha Girl and Evil Eye in that. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is coming out this September. I play Minago in that. And Chris Tales is coming out on Tuesday, and I play 2 characters in that. So make sure to get that when that comes out on Tuesday.
Awesome.
So I think that's all the things.
We got about 20
but
seconds
you can keep an
left.
eye on my Twitter because I'll announce things when they come out.
Got about 20 seconds left. We want to remind everybody next week is our big Show by Rock Mashumiresh special and our goodbye to Blog Talk. We wanted to leave Blog Talk on a high note with a bang, and I think this is going to be an amazing show. So
10
until then,
seconds.
I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Thank you, Lindsay, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing everybody next week right here on Anime-Zing Radio, on the Blog Talk Radio Network, and on